بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The sun and the moon are taken into account. God determines the night and the day, even if you do not count it. He directs the matter from heaven to earth, then returns to him in a day whose duration is 1,000 years, which you can count. The angels and the Spirit ascend to him on a day whose duration is 50,000 years. Indeed, one day with your Lord is like 1,000 years of what you count. They see it far away and we see it close. And on the day when the hour comes, the criminals will swear that they stayed only an hour. Time immerses itself in every particle of the universe and interacts with and influences every creature of God. It is inseparable from nature, with its trees, creatures, and stones, no matter the size of its atoms, or any smaller than that. Time has many definitions that can be summarized as a name for a little or a lot of time, and it is related to movement. Without movement and change, there is no time, and it is measured in the short and long intervals in which things succeed one another. What we aspire to behind identifying time in the Holy Quran is to guess how long we will remain as creatures on earth until we die, and after death until the hour comes, which many people, especially the materialistic ones, believe is far away, if it will happen at all, as the ancients said, the Almighty said. They said, if we die and rise from dust, bones, will we be granted? We and our children were promised this before, and these are nothing but legends of the ancients. Why is it guesswork and not accurate knowledge? The reason for this is that all we will be exposed to is the diligence of scholars in sciences and inductive observations of what the Quran has stated and comparing it with the experimental sciences, many of which have been proven, but the shortcomings of science have not been verified as much of what it says. Due to the wisdom of God Almighty, our noble messenger did not interpret most of the Quran, but rather God Almighty intended it for us, and perhaps our scholars are an inexhaustible spring, in which there is everything from which we can draw and ponder much. We have learned in previous episodes that time for creatures is relative, that is, it varies with the creatures and their relationships with their surroundings, and today we will learn about 5 of them, which, as mentioned in the Holy Quran, determine for each creature its own temporal phenomenon. Synchronous is something over which time passes, such as humans and inanimate objects. The amount of time is only numbers and numbers that express how many times this time is. The number is 100 years or 7 days, and the unit by which we measure it is the hour, day, night, day and noon, or year. There are many examples of the field or space in which time is measured, such as the Earth or the universe, such as in terrestrial or celestial year, a cosmic movement or event, which is the action that takes place in that time, such as a day, for example. Since the addressee in the Holy Quran is man, all the verses of the Quran came according to earthly time or were referred to it, and this is what we understood from the Holy Quran. The Spirit is a great angel who ascends in a day whose day is estimated at 50,000 years of our time, while the angels of management and control have a day of 1,000 years, and the angels of the presence who are with your Lord, their day is destined for 1,000 years. God Almighty said, "And a day with your Lord is like 1,000 years of what you count." Al-Andi also means the time of the hereafter and resurrection, and the evidence is the Almighty saying, "They shall have whatever they wish with their Lord." That is the reward of the doers of good. These verses give clear indications of the relativity of time and that the unit of measurement for the time of the hereafter is 1,000 years of the time of this world, which is an objective and mathematical relativity that can be counted in relation to God's creatures and their actions. As for God Almighty, there are axioms that can never be overcome, which are that all creatures are simultaneous and subject to the measurement of time and have a lifespan, and God Almighty does not include any that is not subject to the measurement of time. He is the creator of time and controls it. He surrounds all creatures through all their times. This is what we will try to understand. When we discuss a great example that the Quran brought, which is the role of time in the miracle of God Almighty in the story of Al-Uzair and the donkey in the next episode. Don't forget, we expect you to be with us.